There is almost certainly an economic recession hitting. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment, but there's almost certainly an economic recession that's coming. Welcome to Loans Elevated, the podcast that brings you the latest industry news, expert interviews, and insightful discussions that will help you stay ahead in this dynamic market. I'm your host, Broch Lassig, and I've spent years in the trenches of the mortgage industry, helping individuals and businesses navigate the complex landscape of real estate financing.
I'm your co-host, TJ Heidenreich, and together we'll cover a wide range of topics, from business strategies that skyrocket your success to mindset and motivation that fuel your growth.
Is this our first one of the year?
First one of the year, we're back.
We back. What? All right. Welcome back, guys. The first episode of 2024, and we're stoked. Tej and I are actually prepping for our biannual market forecast. And in preparation for that, it takes a lot of work. Every single day, we're watching market updates, two a day, we're watching market updates. And then we're attending early on in the year between 2 and 4 economic forecasts hosted by different people, like the Home Builders Association, Salt Lake Board of Realtors, other different various organizations. But we just attended the one for the Salt Lake Home Builders Association, and it was Dr. Elliot Eisenberg teaching it. He is a hoot. What is it? Graphs and Laughs?
Yeah.
Graphs and Laughs.
Signature bow tie.
Yeah,
he's awesome.
Yeah, he's really, really good. Very entertaining. But we took some really good information, and we wanted to just quickly summarize what he believes is the market forecast going into 2024. So I summarized very simply in that there is almost certainly an economic recession hitting. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment, but there's almost certainly an economic recession that's coming. The good news is, as it relates to housing, especially here in Utah, it is unlikely to impact housing one way or the other with a recession. Well, negatively impact, I should say. It's unlikely to negatively impact housing, especially in Utah, whether we have a recession or not, but chances are we will have a recession. Now, the reason for this is there is very low supply, and the supply got even lower over this high rate period that we experienced last year in 2023, and we have very high and continually increasing demand, which is going to support home prices almost no matter what rates do. We've seen home prices go up. Even when rates were at 8.5% at their peak, we saw rates going up probably still like half a point a month.
Yeah.
Would you say?
Yeah, no,
So,
most definitely.
Now, one very interesting caution that he gave at this meeting, and it was for the Home Builders Association. So I was actually stoked to hear him say this, was home builders need to buy in to what's happening in Utah. Recognize that if we don't build more homes, the chronic housing supply shortage is going to create a situation that will eliminate or drastically reduce or dampen the growth of Utah as a state looking into the future, because affordability will just get worse and worse and worse if we don't figure out how to build more houses and fill the demand that continues coming. So,
well, it's interesting you say that. I mean, gosh, we'll kind of go backwards of what I was going to pull up, but there were some slides, which if you're watching this on YouTube, we'll pull up these slides. But in terms of net immigration, people coming to Utah and how we ranked last year, we were number 10 in the nation in numeric growth. We increased by 36,500
net.
Yeah.
There were almost 37,000 people that moved to Utah net. That includes people that moved out, includes the people that moved in. Net new people.
So you put, what's the average household size? Let's just give a guesstimate.
3.5 people in Utah. We looked that up before.
Yeah, it's 36,500. Divide that by
10,000 houses, right?
36,500 divided by 3.5. 28. Wait, no, I did my math wrong. Hold on. 36,500. Divide that by 3.5. 10,428.
Yeah.
There we go.
10,428 houses in 1 year.
1 year.
That moved here. These are transplants that moved
net
here.
Immigration.
Yeah.
We have a problem with not building enough houses and the inventory.
Yep.
And he talked a lot about the golden handcuffs of the 3% rate because people aren't going to sell their house, or they're less likely to put their house in the market because they don't want to lose this coveted rate they have. So that's created this inventory issue, which could be a problem long term.
Right.
I mean,
sure. Yeah.
If we don't fix and build more homes, affordability could really become an issue like it has in other states.
And it's way worse. Like
right.
he likened us to Colorado. Colorado, we're probably, we don't know exactly, but let's just say we're about a decade behind Colorado in our growth. Colorado has like 2-point-something million more people than we have. So they've got about 40% more population than we have in Utah.
Yeah,
and now
Colorado, let's see here, 5.7 million, and we're at 3.2.
Yeah, so I mean like 2.5 more million people.
Yeah.
That's like 40, 45% more people, something like that. And their growth was equivalent to our growth.
Right.
So they have 40% more people, and their growth was only as much as ours. Whereas in years past,
yeah, it's identical, 36,500.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And in years past, they were in the six-figure range of net in-migration, but it got so bad, and affordability is such an issue, and then also there's some politics that are causing issues there too, but affordability became such an issue there that now the growth has slowed dramatically. So Utah has such a bright future for many, many, many years, 10, 20 years probably, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But we have to be mindful of this, and hopefully builders find a solution to fill the need in a more affordable way. But
and same thing with percentage growth.
Yeah.
Percentage growth was up 1.1%. We're top 10 in that as well.
So top 10 of all the 50 states in the nation, we're top 10
in both categories.
Both categories of population growth, which is crazy.
I mean, there's only a select few that are top 10 in both, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Where they were matching that. Another data point that stood out to me was, and we've talked about this in other podcasts and other forecasts, but I'm slipping my mind right now. The unemployment rate ticking up, which that every time that ticks up, it always skyrockets, and it leads us into recession time and time again.
Yeah. So as soon as you see inflation go from its trough and start to rise, at some point, relatively quickly, you see like a hockey stick spike in unemployment. Like a couple percentage points most of the time. Sometimes it's worse than that. Hopefully not this go around.
Right.
But
why that's important too is that's a key indicator for inflation and
or recession.
No, for also inflation, because what I mean by that is if people are losing their jobs, they're not spending their money, and inflation's coming down.
Oh, right. Of course, it's going to help.
Exactly.
Reduce inflation.
Exactly.
Right. It'll help support that case.
Which then the Fed will then take action to cut rates.
And the other thing that we didn't mention is it always spikes, but every single time, all of the recorded recessions on the graphs that we can find, every single time, you see a trough in unemployment, you see a trend of unemployment start to increase, you see a rapid spike, and every single time it's a recession. 100% of the time. There's never one time ever that has happened and we haven't hit a recession. Which is insane. So, and that's happening. It's a very defined, we'll show the graph like TJ said if you're watching on YouTube, but there's a very defined uptrend. So that's likely to come soon, all supporting lower rates, and we'll see what happens. But anyway.
One other thing that stood out to me, Elliot talked about rates going up like steps, but then going down like an elevator.
Oh, Fed rates.
Yeah. That stood out to me on how this can all correlate too.
Yep. I agree with you. I think one of our biggest projections internally for our team and ourselves is that we think the Fed is playing a game of chicken with the markets. We think they're going to push really, really, really hard because they're fearful that inflation is going to come up. But chances are we're going to hit a recession, and they're going to be forced to quickly cut things so the economy doesn't just totally go in the toilet. And so we'll probably see that. That likely results in rates dropping, who knows when, some point in 2024 probably. It creates a very steep, quick drop in mortgage rates, which creates a very steep, quick incline of demand, people buying houses again. So think back to our biggest fears, think back to like 2021. You couldn't get into a house unless you were able to close in 2 weeks. You were able to write a check for 20, 30 grand over the list price, and you were a perfect buyer, and you had to compete with somewhere between 5 and 50 offers per property. That's probably where we're headed, which is a scary thing. But we'll talk about more of that stuff in our forecast coming up in February.
This is just a snippet. So if you guys want more information on that, please DM us, comment below. We'll add some links into for the Eventbrite as well, so you can sign up. And then
Just comment forecast if you're interested.
Yep. And if there's anything you want to see in that forecast, please comment, and we're excited to see you there. Thank you for tuning in. For more industry insights, follow us on all platforms at Loans Elevated.
And to get in touch with our team, call or text 801-713-4000 or visit loanselevated.com.